Like in the last video, I have explained how we go inside our own mind and we interact with our own mind elements. So that is what is happening. That is, whenever you enter the Maya, you interact with your own mind elements, like your friends, father, mother, relatives, birds, plants, animals. So you interact with your own dream elements. So that means Shakti is interaction full, whereas your real self, that is Sadashiva, is interaction less. And the next is identity. Shiva doesn't identify with anything. That is, your real self, your original self, which is vibrationless, doesn't identify with anything. So Shiva will never tell, I am Shiva. Shiva will never tell, I am Aditya, I am this table, I am this duster. So it will not have I am, because it will not drop its Kundalini below the Sahasrara. So it will never give rise to Agna Chakra. So the Shiva consciousness, since it is vibrationless, it always stays beyond the Sahasrara. It never gives rise to Kundalini. Once Kundalini is generated, once desires are generated, then Kundalini goes to Agna Chakra and creates a false identity, telling, I am Aditya, I am Rupesh, I am Suresh, and all those characters, all the characters in the world, including Modi, Donald Trump, all the characters, that I am this character gets generated in the Agna Chakra. So what that means is, when you're inside the dream, you identify with the dream elements. That is, once your consciousness enters some character like Aditya, Ramesh, Suresh, it identifies that I am Aditya, I am Ramesh, I am Suresh. So what that means is, the Shakti is identity full, whereas the Shiva, which is beyond all the dreams, is identity less. And the next is desire. Because of desire, you enter this Maya. So Tripura Sundari is also called as Kamakshi or Kameshwari. So what that means is, she is the one who gives rise to desires. And because of desires, this whole world gets created. Because of desires, the Kundalini forms all the lower 6 chakras. Otherwise, it will always be above the Sahasrara. So above Sahasrara Chakra, the Kundalini is vibrationless. So above the Sahasrara Chakra, the Kundalini is the divine masculine. It is Sadashiva. But when it goes below the Sahasrara, the Kundalini becomes the Shakti. That is the desireful consciousness. As it gets all the lower chakra desires, it becomes desireful, and it gives rise to new kinds of Maya, like the Maya of the physical realm, Maya of the astral, Maya of the causal. So all these realms are created inside your mind because of your desire. And the next difference is visibleness. Shiva, since he doesn't interact with anything, he is invisible. Whereas Shakti, since it interacts with everything, it is visible. Shakti interacts with everything. She is the light, she is the sound waves. She is everything, due to which you are able to see her. So whatever visible universe is Ma herself. So all the universe, including plants, animals, birds, astral being, causal being, all the planets, that is Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, Mahajana, and all the below lokas also, that is Atal, Vital, Sutal, everything is her, is Ma herself. And that is completely visible because it is made of vibration. So whenever the vibratory lokas interact with your vibrating consciousness, you will be able to see that loka. So whatever vibration you are there in, you will be able to see that respective loka. For example, if you are vibrating in alpha, beta, gamma frequency, you will be able to see the physical realm. If you are vibrating at theta frequency, you will be able to see the astral realm. If you are vibrating at delta frequency, you will be able to see the causal realm. So based upon what frequency you are vibrating in, what frequency your consciousness is vibrating in, that respective loka will be visible for you. And if you stop vibrating, then the whole universe will disappear and you will go to the original state of the universe, which is invisible. So these are the differences of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So this is the universal difference between the masculinity and femininity. But when it comes to humans, the difference is subtle in nature, because the difference between a human male and human female is only 2%. Because out of the 46 chromosomes, only two chromosomes determine your gender. If you're having Y chromosome, then you're a male, and if you're having X chromosome, you're a female. So just because of the 2% difference, your gender is determined. So what that means is, the 98% of the chromosome in both human male and human female is same. Only because of the 2% there is a difference in the gender, and that difference is very subtle in nature, not as different as these two. That is, the divine masculine and divine feminine is complete opposite of each other. But when it comes to human female and human male, there is no much difference. 98% is same. 98% is Shakti herself. only the 2%, there is a difference. That is, the human male has 2% extra of the Shiva Tattva, and the human female has 2% of the Shakti Tattva. A human female is more vibrationful, she has more shape, she has more attributes, she has more interaction with the Maya, she has more identities, she has more desires, she is more visible. So only 2% she is more of the divine feminine than the masculine. Rest of the 98% both are same. Both are feminine only. So 98% is feminine only the 2% difference is there. So that means the divine masculine is very far from us. It is very far from a human male and human female. It is beyond our imagination. So in order to really experience the divine masculine, we have to meditate. Only if we go beyond the Sahasrara chakra, we will be able to feel the Kundalini being stable, and we will be able to experience the Sadashiva. Otherwise, it is all her creation only. Until our Kundalini is in the below chakras, we are only experiencing the feminine. And by Shiva, I don't mean Shankar Mahadev, who is in the Kailas Parvat. I don't mean Bhairava. I don't mean Rudra. I mean the Sadashiva, who is beyond the Maya. So whatever incarnation he has taken in the Kailasa Parvata as Bhairava, Rudra or Shankar Mahadev, it is his manifested form. That is, it is his feminine form. So Shiva's feminine form is Rudra, Bhairava, Shankar Mahadev, but his actual masculine self is beyond the Maya. He enters the Maya to teach everyone what is real masculinity. So real masculinity doesn't interact with anything, doesn't identify with anything, doesn't have any desires, is invisible, is shapeless, is vibrationless, etc. It is beyond the Maya. And so to experience Sadashiva, what we have to do is we have to channelize the Kundalini upwards. So the only way to channelize the Kundalini upwards is to maximize your Shakti. So what is Shakti? All the Beeja Aksharas is Shakti. That is, Shreem represents the assets of the consciousness, Reem represents the gunas of the consciousness, Aim represents the knowledge of the consciousness, Kleem represents the shape of the consciousness, that is the beauty of the consciousness. So when you chant all the Beeja Aksharas, that is Shreem, Reem, Aim, Kleem, Cream, power of the consciousness. So when you chant all the Beeja Aksharas, what happens is you become vibration full. So when you become vibration full, the Kundalini slowly comes upwards. It detaches from the lower chakras and it comes upwards towards the Sahasrara. That is, when it goes towards the Sahasrara, the Agna chakra also switches off. So the mind which is creating false ego, that I am Aditya, I am Rupesh, I am Purnima, I am Ramesh, Suresh, John, Donald Trump, I am Modi. So all that mind, that is the false ego, stops, and there comes the peaceful consciousness, peaceful Kundalini. So once that is attained, once the mind switches off, you attain that Sadashiva after crossing all the vibration. That is, after maximizing your vibrations, you will click out and go beyond the Maya. So that is what we are aiming for. Through sadhana, we can achieve Sadashiva and go beyond the Maya of physical realm, astral realm, causal realm, and everything. So these are the differences between the masculine and feminine, and there is no much difference between human masculine and human feminine. Humans are 98% same, only there is 2% difference. So don't worry too much about the difference between humans, because that is not real. Everything comes under the dream. All humans come under the dream texture, that is the divine feminine. The only real thing that you have to aim for is the divine masculine, which is beyond humans, astral beings, causal beings. So you have to aim for that. So I hope this video has brought some light to your consciousness. Thanks for watching, and we'll meet in the next video. Jai Mahakal.